I want to just make sure that you understand, you like meet me essentially. This is probably the weirdest thing I think I've ever done. Virtual for the past like 3 months has been a little crazy. I do teach Algebra 2 up at the high school, and my name is Coach Emmons if you haven't met me before. If you haven't been receiving my emails, you need to make sure that your email gets updated, but we'll touch base on that in just 1 second. So I am the head coach, and currently I'm the only coach at South right now for volleyball. So with that being said, everything's coming through me. So if you need to contact somebody, contact me. I'll give you my phone number at the very, very end, and you're more than welcome to text me, call me, whatever time of day you need me. I prefer text just because when I'm inside the building, it's a little difficult to get phone service. So, and I'm at the school most of the day anyways. So if you'll send me a text, normally I'll see it and then I can reply quickly. If it's an emergency, absolutely call me. So a couple of things, expectations. So we've already kind of started conditioning, and hopefully your player has shown up. If they haven't, look forward to seeing them. But some things to keep in mind is right now we are not allowed to practice with the ball. So we're doing strict conditioning right now because we're in phase 1 of returning to play. This is something that has been brought on by GHSA. It's not my decision that we're not playing with balls, but we are strictly conditioning, which is a good thing because we're trying to train and kind of strengthen some muscles in order to prevent injury later on. That's what conditioning is really for. So we do a lot of running, we do a lot of weightlifting, we talk a lot about nutrition, we talk a lot about stretching and taking care of ourselves as we progress through these different phases for return to play. If your child has not filled out the tryout packet, they need to make sure that they fill that out. If they're missing it, please let me know. Every player who's come into the gym so far has been added to a group chat just to make sure that they have all of the information. And if they don't have the information, they can ask me. So make sure that your player's in the group chat. And if they're not in the group chat, let me know. But they should have filled out a tryout packet, which it had like a Google form and asked about your phone number, your email, that kind of thing. That's going to be the best way for me and you guys to communicate, especially since they're not allowing parents in the facilities. So they're only allowing the kids to come in right now. So they're trying to restrict how many people are coming into the building. So please, please, please give me the most updated contact information that I have for you. On the note of COVID, a couple of things that we're doing. Every day the girls are coming in, they're getting checked with their temperature. They're asked the same 5 questions every morning. You know, have you come in contact with somebody who has COVID? Have you had a fever? Have you had a cough? That kind of thing. So they're asked the same questions every day, and hopefully the girls are answering truthfully. I want to make sure that the girls are answering truthfully. I don't think anybody's lied, but we need to protect ourselves, especially if you go on vacation and you go to one of the hot spots. Make sure that that is communicated with our trainers, because let's say, for instance, that one of the girls is carrying it and doesn't realize it, they could potentially harm somebody else unintentionally. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of each other and we're washing our hands and just trying to stay as clean as possible. I personally wipe down everything in between all of the workouts, as well as the girls wipe down all of the stuff in between each set. So, if they use this weight set, they wipe it down afterwards and then move on to the next thing. So we're trying to keep it as clean as possible. But please make sure that you're communicating with our trainers if you do travel to different locations. If you have not filled out the waivers, there are 2. There's one for the athletic department, and then there's one for my program personally. They're saying about the same thing, but I want you to make sure that you fill out both so that I have a copy and the athletic department has a copy. If your child has not brought you those waivers, make sure you check your email. There's a copy on there. And if you don't have a printer, it's okay to just write the statement on a piece of paper and bring it to me. Basically, it's just saying you're assuming the risk of potential COVID. You're assuming that risk. On my waiver, it also talks about the fact that we have extended the deadline for physicals. GHSA has pushed back the deadline for physicals. And so with that being said, some of these girls are coming in with, outdated physicals. So keeping that in mind, you're assuming risk when you walk into the building. So if your kid had a sprained ankle last year and, they haven't seen a trainer in a while, you're assuming that risk when you come in since they haven't seen a trainer or a doctor prior to coming in here. Make sure that you schedule a physical appointment. I know a lot of the girls were saying that their doctors aren't available until July. They need to get that physical turned in as quickly as possible because it's going to become more difficult to get a doctor's appointment if you don't go ahead and schedule it. So just keep that in mind as you're making doctor's appointments. I know it can be a hassle, but doing it on the front end is going to be a little bit easier. So make sure that you schedule that doctor's appointment to get that physical done. The physical paper has been emailed to you. If you need a copy of that, just let me know and I'll send it to you directly. Dragonfly. I know a couple of us have heard about Dragonfly, but aren't really sure what it is. Each one of your players had a discussion with me about Dragonfly today. And so they should download the app on their phone, and then it's going to ask them to fill out a bunch of questions. So just get them to fill out all the questions, and then there's 3 forms that I need the parents to sign. And that has to be done before they can try out. So you have to make sure that that Dragonfly is up to date. Okay? And it's just really an electronic version of doing physicals. I'm just going to keep going, and at the end, if you've got questions, that's fine. I am recording this, so if you need to go back and see this again, that's okay too. Other things, we need board members. So with that being said, if you're interested, make sure that you see Tori Ingram, or you can come text me. Let me know that you're interested in being on the board. The more successful programs have parents who are constantly involved. So we need parent involvement as much as possible. This year, I'm hoping to teach you the different aspects of the volleyball program so that you are invested just as much as your child is invested. Your child wants you to be there, and I don't know what form that's going to look like this year, especially with us returning to play. I don't know if they're going to allow spectators this year. That's just something to keep in mind. But I'll keep you updated as we're told more stuff as we go along. Each team is going to need a team parent. So if you're like, I love food, I love organizing food, just let me know so that I can put that down. You'll be in charge of essentially organizing the food for each team because we will have team meals before games. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. Tryouts. I was asked on, I think it was like June 1st, if I could do tryouts without playing with a volleyball. And I said no. So with that being said, I'm trying to make it as equally fair as possible when it comes to tryouts, because I don't think it's fair for me to have to assess your player. Ooh, there we go. Without having seen them play volleyball. So I personally don't think that's fair. So I'm going to make sure that I assess their volleyball skills and not just, whether or not they can condition. So I don't know when tryouts are going to be. My hope is that we can return to play by July 16th. That is my goal. But obviously I don't make that decision. The higher ups do. So I will keep you updated as much as I possibly can. With that being said, communication is going to be the most important thing for us, especially during this time. Please make sure that your information on that tryout packet is correct. If your email is wrong, if one thing is slightly mistyped, it can seriously impact, me communicating with you. So if you're not getting my emails, and I normally check with your girls and say, hey, did your parent get the email? But if you're not getting emails on a regular basis from here on out, we probably need to check your email, okay? I'm going to try to send one a week, and normally it's going to be on Thursday. And anytime that you got a question, please let me know. But communication is definitely going to be key for the next couple of months. So if you ever have a question, go ahead and text me or go ahead and give me a phone call. I will ask though a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of grace in the sense of there's a lot of different suggestions coming from different people. For instance, one county over, they're planning on returning to play very, very soon. And it might be a little bit different from what Gwinnett County does. So just because one county does something and we're not doing that doesn't mean that I can personally go, oh, okay, we can start playing with volleyballs because Fulton's doing that. That's not how it works. So I have to follow protocol. So I will try to communicate with you as fast as I possibly can on anything that comes into play. Okay. If you don't already have in your cell phone my phone number, I think I put it on the email, but here it is if you need it. It is 678-558-7448. And so again, that's 678-558-7448. And you're welcome to text me with any questions. I am in the gym from 9 a.m. till 2:30. So if I don't respond between those hours, it's because I'm working with girls and I'm trying not to touch my phone and cross-contaminate. So just keep that in mind, but I will try my best to return your text or your phone call as soon as possible. So that is my spiel. I did record it. So if you missed it at the beginning or you came in late, that's fine. So for now, I'm just going to open up the floor. If you've got questions, I'm here to answer them. So if you want to unmute yourself, if you've got a specific question for the good of the group, or you can send me a text if you want to. Does anybody have any questions on anything? I know it's a lot of information, and I can only imagine, having a kid and wanting to send them to go play sports during this pandemic. So definitely admire y'all. And I really, truly appreciate y'all trusting the safety of your kids with us. I appreciate it. We try our best to take care of them. And we're trying to make sure that nobody gets COVID and everybody's staying safe, but is continuing their conditioning as well. So anybody got questions about logistics? Okay. All right. Well, if you plan on, go ahead. You're fine. Okay. So next week will be straight conditioning as well because we're still in phase 1 of returning to play. There's 3 phases. So phase 1 is conditioning with no contact. So we're trying to keep the girls 6 feet apart. And then phase 2 is we increase the number of people who can practice together. So instead of it being, I can only have 18 kids per session, now I can put them all together. And then phase 3 will be actual go back to play. So tryouts have been postponed until July, just because I think it would be fair to assess their volleyball skills rather than their conditioning skills. Does that make sense? I suggest that they have their own volleyball at home just so that they can practice at home, but they don't need it for conditioning, no. Rochelle, I got your chat. Um, so currently what's happening is we're in the process of hiring, but across Gwinnett County, hiring has been frozen. So I can't bring in a new coach. I have to hire somebody who is on staff. Currently, I'm looking at somebody from the middle school who is potentially going to be my JV coach, but I'll keep y'all updated on that. As of right now, I'll be coaching all 3. So which is going to be a little difficult. But by fall, I won't be